So overall, these new toys are a bit questionable. Some will get upset at the loss of the emblem mode, but in terms of playability, it's, well, except for the Megazord, it's actually pretty similar. These were originally bricks and they didn't do much, but they're just nice to just throw around and play around with, like that. But anyway, it's time to do the combination sequence. Alright, so combination montage in 5, 4, 3, 2. And here is the Samurai Megazord combined. Now, for those familiar with Shinkano, you can see right away that there are a bit of differences to this toy. Right away, you can see right here in the original, the waist was actually a little more longer down, despite being called short, and the legs weren't this long and noticeable. Actually, the design of it is actually very reminiscent of the 2010 Dino Megazord, which we will discuss later. Articulation on this guy is, well, just barely there. The arms are on a ratchet and can move up and down. The legs can't move up and down, but because of the joints they can go to the side, though it bends at an odd angle to do so, so this is an odd option. And the mouth moves, but that's not part of the transformation. And we go here. Here's the helmet. Helmet off. And head's decently detailed. Okay. Now, the only accessory it comes with is the sword. Now, the sword is all pretty much dull plastic. Now, the most interesting thing is that the symbol, the line of symbols here, it looks confusing, but it's actually a picture of all the animals. Turtle, monkey, bear, dragon, lion. This was actually on the Japanese toy, but it was only on one side, I believe. This we get two sides, which is quite nice. Now the fist. Now how to hold it is quite a problem. To put it in your right hand, there you go. Now, the problem is that because of the bottom, which it doesn't go through, the sword only goes this way. But because of the articulation, it can swivel. But it's not much if you have a stubby sword. The other hand, you can't twist or anything, but it goes all the way through. So there's a bonus for any left-handed Megazords out there. The sword itself can store on either side, much like the original. You don't go all the way, just like right here at the end of the blade, and just push down, and there you go. Okay, now for a size comparison, just by measuring it is about 10-11 inches according to the helmet. But for a side-by-side comparison, here it is with the 2010 Dino Megazord, and here it is with the High Octane Megazord. It's a little shorter. And here it is with the RPM Ultrazord. Obviously bigger. We're going to get back to this combination further down the line. One more thing. In terms of gimmicks, right away you'll notice that from the original version and from what will come, this guy has no shield. The original for Shinkano, the shield was a heating disc, which you put on the back and spins, and you can put on the arms. they took it out. And I believe that there will be no other discs of that kind throughout the line except for the Zords. I think that's because they chose another gimmick to prefer. Thing is that the reason that is so familiar to the Dino Megazord's body before is not a coincidence. These two are able to exclusively switch body limbs. So we can go from this to this. Yes, the new gimmick is part swapping. And as for the joints, they hold up fairly well. Mine's is tight on this. On the original, though, it's actually a bit more loose. Hopefully just on mine's. This is especially more with the Samurai's legs. It's in there, but it just wobbles. But that's okay. It can still stand fine and perhaps do a little party dance. Hey, party dance. No. And in that same sense, we can also do a little more. With these Zord vehicles, if anyone still has these. Yeah, these ones are actually more difficult to move because it's so tight, but yeah, they're still there. They can still move. And on the box, it actually displays this for the Samurai line if you missed out on the MMPR line. On the bottom, you can see two cycles, and they actually make new feet. So there's going to be a lot of little part swapping. Haven't been like this since Small Force. And continuing with the new gimmick, there may also be some changes in future combinations. Already there's some clues right away. There's pegs on the side, and this big hinge on the back. That stops right there. But, for once, Bandai of America drew us a bone, and has the next three Zords listed in the instructions. The Beetle Zord, the Swordfish Zord, and the Tiger Zord. All of which will combine to form the Battlewing Megazord. Yes, it's an Megazord, even if it's just a backpack. I don't get that. We'll find out soon. Now, for the combinations, like the original, they would just take off the helmet and replace it. And then you would have the rest of it stuck on the back. Now, this time is going to be different. The pieces are going to go elsewhere on the body. The Beetle Zord is going to be a shield. The Swordfish Zord is going to be a new arm holding the sword. The Tiger is going to remain the same, but the future combination where the drills were usually here, they're going to be put down in these ports right here. Which has people questioning what exactly is the final form going to look like. Most likely the same thing, but it's definitely different and something unexpected for once. It's the same thing that people felt when they saw these figures. With the mouthpieces, these basic figures look nothing like the ones in the show, and they're in the main line. So yeah, people are worried. I mean, I'm gonna like that there's not gonna be any backpack, or that this thing's not gonna have drill nipples in the final form, but it's definitely a bit uneasy, slightly. Let's just take a moment right now. So overall, what is my opinion on the Samurai Megazord? To be honest, it's just okay. It's true that a lot of the gimmicks that were on it before were stripped, so it reduces playability. But still, a lot of the original playability and the problems from Shinkano are still there. So it's not too drastically different. Though where it's going may be. Again, as you can see, the body shape is similar to Dino Megazord, so I feel like they're like more brothers. So it's like a more of an extensive retool. Bandai of America is definitely going in a different direction now. They've learned from the 2010 line, and since this started from the RPM line, I wasn't too upset or discouraged from seeing any of these new changes. It's actually more interesting. It makes anything that's coming our way more fascinating. Though a lot of fans do not like it, any adult collectors around. And I can see that Bandai is doing more, definitely more for the parents. For the kids are actually going to buy this more. And I can see there's a sort of a compromise. Though, like I said, all this is just one interesting change, and we'll just have to see where this goes. Now, the toy itself runs for about $29.95. That's what I bought. Maybe it's cheaper, and if it is, hopefully you can get it at that price. If not, you can wait, or if for the other Zords that are going to come out, and there will be, you can wait to see if there's combo packs. I know that the three I mentioned are going to come in individual packs with figures, but maybe they'll be put together later on. I don't know. Again, patience is a virtue for this, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, this is the review for the Samurai Megazord. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.